Where's that new trophy?
It's right here. I ain't even put it up yet. I was like, let me just hold on, because I was taking pictures of my daughter with it.
Gonna look
We
like
haven't.
a room.
Yeah, I got to make some room. Got to move some things over. Well, this picture right here, this one, that'll be taken off to where I'm gonna move this down there, and then this will be at the bottom of that one.
Cool.
That trophy was dope, dude. You
Good.
matched the shorts for it too. I thought that was pretty neat.
I would tell you
That
right now
Gilco
that
picture when you're holding it.
this is probably one of the best trophies that I've seen like created. Besides the Dubai one is super detailed, super detailed. Did a really good job with that one, but the Mayans really did a phenomenal job with. And to mind you, this shit is heavy as
Yeah, it's
metal.
solid, bro.
Like,
So is that like a steel beam?
Yeah, it's like a
yes.
beam. That's sick.
Yeah, that's dope.
Has the skyline on it. That's sick.
I've never
So
seen a trophy like that before.
no, they were creative with this one. So that's also what makes it even more unique. It's super sick that they kind of did something totally different from just a regular trophy or a body or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, bro.
Even the girls' trophies were pretty sick. Even though they look like a trophy, the bottom I think was like a different, like a marbly looking material. And the trophy was pretty sick.
So how would you rate the show experience compared to others in total? Because there was a lot of hype going into it, obviously with the expo and the big
It's
names.
Not
better
even
just
lie,
because he
bro.
won.
It's not because I won, and it's just because of the Mayans. I can literally sit there and say this will be, and me personally, I do think this is now the second biggest show in the world, based off of production, live stream clarity, lighting, um, the accessibility of the athletes moving it around. Everybody was in the same location. It wasn't, oh, you got to go here, there, and there, and there. So everything was under one roof. Besides, of course, the hotel and the convention center is connected. So, like I said, you didn't really have to go anywhere. Everything was literally under one roof, man, and they did a really good job with having pro tan literally on the third floor. All you gotta do is go back downstairs. Like everything was so well thought out, and this will be this is the second biggest show in the world right now. They kind of outdid themselves.
First, do you think this will outdo the Arnold?
Probably not, but
Okay, hold on. But hold on. Tell me what top guys are entering the Arnold like they just entered the Pittsburgh Pro.
That's a good point. That
Oh
is,
wait.
so my opinion on that, I think just because, and like I said, this is my opinion. It is what it
Yeah.
is. But
Absolutely.
I just think
100.
that this was the first year of the show, and that's going to draw a pretty big crowd. Maybe you're trying to make something so big like that, having the convention there and making this kind of what they're saying is the triple crown. So I hope that it continues because, like he was
Right.
saying, Erin was saying that live stream was really good. I didn't think it
Crispy.
lagged on me once because obviously you guys know I missed my flight. That was a good one, but yeah, no, the live stream was great. It was clear. Everyone
And
that went,
Gilco ran it.
yeah,
Gilco
yeah,
said
yeah,
it live. So
yeah. So I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it was amazing. I think the stage background was
lit.
close to perfect,
Lit.
close to
yeah,
perfect.
yo, it was even like I like how at finals they had more going on and but they kept it simple at prejudging. So they
Yeah.
really got the best of both worlds. And then Erin, like, I don't know if it was the whole time, but I'm noticed with some of the photos, like when you were getting called out, for the win, and then afterwards with some of the photos, like it was just so like aesthetic. It was a bright yellow look. It was just I don't know, man. It just felt like a big event. You know what I mean? Like
Steelers colors were cool as shit too.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
how it was black and yellow. It looked really good.
Of course they do that on purpose, and of course JM and Tyler, those guys are huge Steelers fans, so
Yeah.
it's always going to be a part of the thing. Even when I did it as a rookie, it was everybody was bringing in the freaking black and yellow shorts, and I just had to put on especially the manifest black and yellow shorts for the win. I felt really confident going into this show, and it was just everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. So
Those legs in that photo, bro.
Bro, you fucking legs are.
Damn,
I was
we've
waiting.
grown. We've
I could
grown, my
tell.
guy.
You don't even gotta say it. I could tell.
All right.
Damn.
So let's jump right to it. How has been some of the feedback, since you stepped off stage?
Man, the feedback has been overwhelming. Let me stop eating my prep meal for New York, actually.
Boy had enough pizza yesterday. He's good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm living through you right now, bro, with the win, and on top of it, just the you made a statement, and then
Yeah.
seeing all this food that you're eating too. It's like, it's definitely motivating. It's got my juices going again. It's like, you know what? For everybody that said that we were riders, dick riders, whatever it may be,
Yes.
About
you
time.
redeemed,
Yes.
you redeemed
Hold
not
on.
only
Chris, I saw
yourself.
you arguing with somebody in the bro. You love picking fights, bro.
Bro, I went to every comment and I said before the show went on.
And let me tell you something. My
I
sister told me, Erin, there's a guy going on every freaking post, going down and just fucking wrecking
saw it.
everybody. I said, who? She showed me that. I said, oh.
Yeah, bro. I was
That's
like, keep the
guy
same
right there.
energy after the show. If you guys have this opinion, keep the same energy. Then after the show, I went there and I went, hey, what's up? What's up to every single one?
That's the
Bro, my
funniest
sister
thing.
had-
Because you know what you're talking about. It's not
Exactly.
just having your favorite guy win. I talked about this with some of the other divisions, right? People talked about, I think the talk of the weekends, like the Nick Walker robbery. But just because somebody is your favorite bodybuilder doesn't mean that they, were robbed because you think they look the best. Judges had a score pretty much even. Prejudging it was Nick, and finals it was Derek. And what happens when there's this tied score is it goes to the head judge, and he's looking at it more intricately and as far as the details of who has the least amount of weak points.
Colors, and everything goes into it, bro.
Yeah.
But just kind of hit on your question. The feedback has been overwhelming from every single judge. They were very impressed on the amount of improvement that I brought from just the Arnold alone.
Yeah.
But just in the whole entire delivery of the package, it was just a phenomenal look that they said. And of course, going into the Mr. Olympia with having Ryan and Ali, who has that crazy crispiness, that's an area that I just need to tap into. And if that's doing more cardio or whatever the case may be, it's just what I have to do to bring that crispiness to the package that I've already brought in. And the thing is, I don't need to do anything besides show up and be conditioned, as far as anything that they wanted me to change. There's nothing. They really told me it was one of those packages that kind of revived my career in a sense. Like for Steve to walk up to me and say, "Man, what of a hell of a comeback."
Yeah.
That hits
That's big.
so hard. Like
That's big.
that hits so hard because, man, I've worked my fucking ass off, and it was just in due time. In due time, it just I needed to put everything together, and I think it unfolded the way it's supposed to unfold.
I honestly think you intimidated them with the whole black Jason Statham look, but we'll go with that.
I like it, man. Now I said you're gonna win this show.
And again, I'm gonna go back to that too. And we talking about feedback. When I tell you, every single judge had everything amazing to say about the beard.
That's
It
awesome.
it was like at first, because I didn't know, because even like when I did the road to the Pittsburgh Pro with JM and Tyler, I said, Tyler, I think I might keep the beard. He was like, you should. It looks good on you.
Yeah.
I said, well, first of all, because I went in there kind of scruffy, I said, well, it'll be cleaned up, everything will be nice and boxed in and lined up. He's like, no, just wear it. It looks really good on you. And I said, I've always never wanted to disrespect the criteria because I know it says nicely groomed and stuff like that. Again, that's a part of your presentation. So that's the only main reason why I asked. So he was like, no, keep it. But when I tell you, Bernadette, Sandy, Bill, Jack, like everybody was like, bro, the beard, you got to keep it. You got to keep the beard. So you guys going to see a bearded Ebanks for the rest of his career.
I like it, bro. It kind of encapsulated a new look. But real quick, regarding the feedback, not necessarily what the judges want to see, but as a critical, athlete yourself, what do you want to see you bring different to the Olympia or New York Pro? We'll get there in a second.
To be honest, bro, I believe this was one hell of a package, and it was just, I've never really seen how my abs were deeper, my serratus showed a lot more. But again, it's just that drier look that everybody, I guess, is looking for, and I really think it's a culture thing. Black people just, I mean, it just depends on the person, to me.
More genetic, you're saying?
Yeah, more genetic thing than anything.
Yeah.
Because again, bro, I'm sitting in a sauna after every fucking workout. I'm trying to bring that crispiness. I'm trying to thin my skin out. I'm trying to do certain things to manipulate that look. And it's still just so damn difficult to kind of get it,
Mhm.
So
You know, you know what's funny though? When you first walked out, your look from your individuals compared to the comparison was actually night and day to me. Like the longer you pose, like the harder you got. And
yes.
I think what some people are going to judge you on is what they see from a Gelco video. That wasn't the best version of you even on that day.
No,
Within like 10 minutes, you've gotten better in
better.
comparison rounds. And I remember turning to cuts and I was like, it just happened.
He's on. I know. And then I heard it in one of his videos. It's like, he's fucking on.
Yeah, it
He's
just
on right
happened.
now. He's on right now. I heard it in the video.
Yo,
So
I was cracking up, bro, when you
that,
came out, and I was just cracking up because you were like, one more time to the back. And I was like, when you
yeah.
said this was different, and people that aren't there in person firsthand, I wanted to, just say that when you came out at prejudging, you said Tyler Mannion said he was proud of you, even leading up to the show. And then
Yeah.
you knew, and you always have that confidence, but this was a whole different vibe I got from you. When you
Yeah.
showed us those pictures and videos, it's like, oh shit, he's on. Like you're the same way as you are on live in person, especially going
Yeah.
into a show. I get you're in the zone and whatnot, but still, when you know. So I
Yeah.
was hyped for you. And I kind of asked Alex, I go, what do you think? He goes, man, he looks good. So when we were sitting there watching prejudging, when you came out, it was very clear to me you were the first one that was moved. I think you and
He stayed.
Vitor and Edvin were
Yeah,
the most peaked, like best peaked
Yeah.
out of
Yes.
each one of you guys.
Those guys
I
are
think
hitting.
Edvin had probably some of the best conditioning I've seen in a long
Yes.
time.
Yes.
He just
His
he
front
wasn't
shot
as
was
complete from the
on.
back in this lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon too. Brandon's full. It just really showed where he lagged in this lineup compared to the backs, because
I'm
this
gonna
was
tell
a
you
back
right
show.
now about Brandon. I truly believe that this was Brandon's best front look
I agree.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
I
I agree.
that I've ever seen on Brandon.
I said the same thing.
I've never seen him that full.
Bro,
I've never seen him that
peeled,
conditioned.
Bro. He was
His,
peeled.
his abs were
His abs were separated as
they were different.
Yeah.
They were
I-
different.
So I think that's the main reason why we're seeing a lot of the hate comments, though, is because his front was so dominant. And just a little education for the people out there that haven't been.
Okay, I
watching
wouldn't
this.
say dominant, but I just
Hold on.
think
Let me get to
okay.
this.
In comparison to his back.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
getting to. So, when people that haven't been watching this for a while, they look at a front pose and they're thinking that's all men's physique is. A lot of them think it's like an ab contest or an upper shelf contest.
yeah.
But whenever you turn to the back, like we're seeing right here down below, is that is the difference maker in this show. And if you look at all the backs down the line, your eyes are drawn to Erins right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever you have a front and a back that is just as balanced, just as crispy, and the whole package comes together, that's always going to be the winner of the show. Okay, the most complete physique. It was the same thing with Terrence Ruffin versus Hosema or Josema,
Yeah.
however you pronounce his name. He was the most complete physique on that stage, and that's why he won by a point. So for everyone that's on these comments and everything, you got to realize that this is bodybuilding, and this is a whole all-around physique, the whole package, the whole look, the smile, the shorts, how he's fitting into those. I mean, it's everything, and how
Posing, individual round.
that exactly.
That was a
Which
good
we
take.
all
I
thought
agree.
we did not know posing round is judged. It's
Yep.
judged.
But I've always said this, me and Alex have, and I know Chris, you're the same way. You're on the same boat. Like the ideal men's physique look to me has always been Erin. Like
Yes.
even if you're just as complete at a shorter structure, he's still going to dominate because he's taller. He takes up that much more space on stage. And from the front to the back, if you're looking at him and dissecting everything, I mean, that's how I gave my prediction for the Arnold. Because if you look at Ali, there are weaknesses if you look at it individually. But when it comes together, it looks good. Erin just individually and together as a whole is complete. Same thing with Ryan Terry. That's why he's two-time champ. You know, he's complete. There's no weakness, but there's no strength that just pushes, you know, his physique in a different look, you know? So it's who's the most well-rounded. And, you know, there's another reason why Vitor and Edvin were above Brandon. You know, is the overall complete look. People may not agree with it. And that's what I said earlier. You know, these fan favorites, people think they got robbed because their favorite bodybuilder, you know, just from one pose. And then they post a picture of, you know, one guy that's halfway in his pose. And then they got the guy that lost his best pose at a good angle that makes him look like he's dominating. But you got to be there in person. That's the biggest thing. You know, same thing with the Open. You know, it's close, but when you're there and you know what to look for from the criteria, not what you want. There's a lot of good guys that, you know, I think should place higher at the Olympia just based on what I like, but it's not what I like. It's what fits criteria. And then there's a lot of guys in the top 15 that are even ahead of me that I don't like their physiques, but I could understand why they're where they're at. Yeah.
You're just realistic with yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And you need to be that way. You can't be delusional in the sport of bodybuilding because all you're doing is cheating yourself. You know, you got to look at your weaknesses. You got to refine the look, you know, and Banks's only flaw is what the other guys have above him. And it's not coming down to a body part. It's coming down to a conditioning, genetic, you know, like skin texture type thing, right? It's not even conditioning. He might have the same condition as somebody like Ryan Terry. They might have the same number, but they look completely different because it could be skin texture, muscle maturity, different things like that. So
absolutely.
So my question then is, Chris, to you, who do you think was the shock of the show?
I think, honestly, I was the person I was most impressed by was Sinet. So
I was going to say that
he
too.
was a lot bigger, fuller. His conditioning was so on point. And I was like, damn, like
he was on
good. And he was on. So whenever he came out, I was like, dang, he has my new favorite physique. I really liked it. Other than that, I think I was right about the Vitor thing. I thought he was going to come on point. I thought he was very, very balanced this show. I think this was probably one of his best showings I've ever seen.
This was his best in person, bro. Me and Alex could say, like, bro. He was
Vitor was like, that boy was so full. He was about to pop.
Yeah.
Pictures don't do his physique justice, though.
No. Yeah. They don't. Bro, when I saw how thin his skin was, I pinched it before he went on stage. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it was insane.
You could like feel the dehydration, but he did it perfectly to where the muscle cell was maxed out to where he had no water under the skin. It was literally just skin over the muscle. He looked crazy. He looked crazy. And when you saw him in comparison next to Banks, Banks was just as conditioned.
Yeah.
So that puts things in perspective. Like Edvin, I think his skin texture is a little bit different. That's why he might appear a little bit drier. But his flaw in this lineup, it's not necessarily a flaw, but in this lineup, his back just being a little bit underwhelming as far as the lats. He has all the density. It's just the lats.
He has the lats from the front, though.
Yeah.
Like, his lats from the front are good, but when he turns around, it's like he just needs that width.
They're going back to taper, I noticed. I'm seeing a lot more of the guys, like you look at Sinet, you look at even Carlos, you look at like it's taper, it's shoulder width to like the tight waist, and you're seeing that a lot more in these shows. You don't see a guy that doesn't really fit in. Everybody has that men's physique look that we talked about.
Look at what I'm looking at right now. Look at the fullness of every single guy on this page.
Everyone was on. Everybody was pretty much on. Yeah.
So it's not a show like where we usually cover like, oh, this guy doesn't have this. His guy, bro, everybody in this fucking picture is full blown on right now.
Yeah.
I was shocked with Victor Ramirez. I know you had him in the top 3, Erin.
Yeah,
but I was shocked with him being 9th. I was shocked by that. I did not think that his.
I thought he looked good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was. I talked to him after the show and after prejudging. I said, at the end of the day, bro, You know you have a phenomenal shape. You know what you just placed at Mr. Olympia. Keep your head up. The main thing I would personally say, which he also knows this is probably a little bit of a weakness for him, it's his posing. I said you have to be more
Stiff.
smoother. You have to loosen up. If you got to take two more extra shots of that Tito's vodka, do it to loosen up, bro. Because a
He
lot of
poses
these
like a
guys,
bodybuilder. Like he comes out
yeah.
and he's just robotic. And I've
And
noticed that before.
Yeah.
so I told him, I said, bro, you come tighter, you loosen up a little bit, you can easily start moving things around because you have everything. You have the balance, you have the shape. And a lot of people say his waist is bigger than what it is. It wasn't that big, so he has a phenomenal shape. And I told his coach, um,
Oh, the
Sebastian.
Spanish dude,
Sebastian.
he's a good coach.
Yeah, he's a great bro. He puts so
He
many people
dominates overseas.
Those wellness girls he has.
bro, he's crazy right now.
There's something in the
So
water with his coaching, bro.
yeah, he knows it, that's Perla's coach,
Yeah.
so he's yeah.
He's got a gift for sure.
He's a great guy. I've talked to him a couple different times. But like I said, once they put everything together, bring him tight, just work on that posing. Bro, if I was him, I'd just take like ballet or something, to be honest. To
Just
just
to
like
loosen up a
start
little bit.
stretching, loosen his muscle bellies up because you can see how big he is, like in his Instagram.
Yeah.
But he looks crazy, right?
Yep.
So I just think he is extremely tight.
I
But
noticed it in his back too. He has like skin that folds, and I know it's not a conditioning thing, but I think it's like some of it pinches a little bit.
yeah.
You know, he's kind of off balanced a little bit too.
Yeah. All right, Drew, do your thing with the top six real quick, because I want to make sure we give everybody their love equally.
So out of all the guys in the top six, the only one that I would say wasn't their best ever was Brandon. I don't think it was his best ever, and also Carlos. We're going to start at six here. I think Carlos faded as he went on. He didn't get as tight. I think he was holding his back pose a little bit differently. It seemed like his arms were wide out, and it looked like one was pinching. Physique is absolutely insane though, as far as the taper, the chest, one of the backs and best backs in the show, but in this lineup, just with him not being as conditioned as some of the other guys, he was exposed. Ricardo, like Chris said, one of the most conditioned guys, if not the most conditioned guy in the lineup, vascular,
He was
very,
the
very peeled.
most craziest
This posing.
looking fucking guy backstage. I'm looking at this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He's
let me
always
pump up
in
some more.
Miami. He was like
Let
that
me
too.
pump up some more. I don't know. I this fucking vascular,
Yeah.
bro. I kept
Yeah, bro. He
girl
was,
Cousins backstage. I asked Cousins, I said, "Am I vascular?" He was like,
Yeah.
"You're on."
Well, you
boy."
look at a guy like that, then
and I'm
you
looking
feel
at
like
this
you're-
motherfucker. I'm like,
good shit.
"Holy shit!"
Yeah. He's
that's
crazy, bro.
crazy.
He was on a whole nother level backstage. I'm like,
Yeah.
he was on. He was on. So,
Yo,
Hey, how tall is he?
Congratulations.
Is he like 6 foot?
yeah, he's tall.
Yeah, he's my height. He's just
Yeah,
probably
okay,
an inch
okay.
shorter than I am.
Yeah, that's a big boy then. Okay.
Yeah. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
By the way, he just beat number 8 in the world after being in the third call outs.
Shows what could happen, bro. I mean, yeah, he was in third call out with me at the Olympia. I think I was actually closer in the center, splitting it with Adobo Gemma, who he was out of the top 10, which was a shock to me as well. But some of these guys hit their peaks and they don't. So if you're on, look at how much you could move up. And if you're off, look at how much you can move back.
down,
Just because
yeah.
you play something at a show before doesn't mean you're always going to beat that person. And leading into Brandon, he's an example of that. You know, he took time off, super consistent guy for the last decade. You know, he's always brought in a really, really good look. But the thing that kind of had me having him not win this show, because leading up to it, you know, I'm like, okay, he's never had the weight cap in effect. We've had it during like that phase of, okay, 2023 for Olympia, he had to weigh in and whatnot. He's a guy just like Ryan Terry that's been doing this with no weight cap in effect, to where he was probably over it to begin with. So now, I mean, it was always in the back of my head after taking a year and a half off. Like you look at Andre, he took time off and goes into a pro show and he's fifth. Like you lose that stage time. You don't lose the experience, but that stage time, like the ring rush, you could kind of tell. Like you start doing little things that throws you off. Like he changed his whole posing routine. I don't think it really did him justice. I think the hand on hip was good, but when he did the back lat spread opening it and then he opened it up completely, like the men's physique pose, it felt like
It looks amateur.
he wasn't setting up right to where
Yes.
he wasn't getting into the pose. It felt like something looked off.
It looks very like like I said, whenever amateurs don't know how to get their lats to spread, they do that trick to do it, and I think that didn't do him justice for the show.
He didn't
I think
open
it
up
made,
completely.
yeah.
All
And
right.
then another thing is with the shorts as well. And I know he even said that this was a mistake. And the main thing is
and the
he
thing
made a
is,
video
it
this
wasn't a
morning.
mistake. The thing is, he started to hike them up higher was the mistake.
I'm saying now
Shorts
he's
were
realizing
fine.
it.
The shorts were fine. I just think he started to hike them up a little too high to show. Of course, we all know Brandon has a fucking
Crazy.
phenomenal shape and his legs are fucking crazy. We've been talking about Brandon going to classic since I've been a rookie. You know what I mean? So we know he has the legs. I just wouldn't have, like I said in my speech, it's not 6 inches above the leg. It's 2 inches. It's two.
The one thing that threw me off, and I don't know if you guys could affirm this, but when you hit the men's physique pose, your legs aren't flexed. So when he's kind of posing a little bit of it, but you're not flexing it like a classic guy to where you're not
No,
seeing the front, the serratus and everything. So it
no.
almost looked misproportioned to where his front is peeled. I know his legs are just as peeled, but it looks like they're softer because they're not flexed. So that to me almost, it was throwing me off a little bit because yeah, they take into account like the legs as well, but he has the shape to where if he pulled them down, he'd look more complete. And we covered that other guy last week.
Yeah.
If you had two guys next to each other that were identical, the guy with the shorts that fit like Banks is going to beat the guy that has them hiked up. And I feel like his finals look was much more complete as far as just with his shorts alone. Obviously, he got better and tighter. But I think that it was a little bit of a distraction. And then the posing on top of it, and Brandon's been the guy to where he tends to switch things up. There's nothing he needs to switch up because, 3-time Mr. Olympia, he took some time off and then coming back.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm a person to that too. I like to switch things up too a little bit, just because. I mean, we even get in our heads to be like, well, the fans keep saying, "Oh, you do the same routine, we do this." So we try to add little tips and shit into our routines to kind of give the fans something different.
Yeah,
but to take a year off and then do it, I think it's
That's
risky.
funny. Somebody said a perfect score.
Me and Andre had that bet going on. It was
I hope he pays you.
No, the bet was off because Ali didn't compete.
But okay,
the bet was between Brandon and me, not Ali.
Well, I know, but the bet was off because I said Ali's winning and he said that Brandon's winning. So it was just the fact that Ali didn't do it. It just washed the bet, So I don't know. I haven't heard from him, but I mean, that's Andre's boy. They're friends. They're on the same team and whatnot. I'm
not gonna hear from him.
Listen,
he just need to keep my name out of his mouth. I know I taste that good, but God,
I don't know nothing about that. All I know is what we had going on between us.
It's ridiculous at this point. Buddy is 43. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. Like, I'm kind of tired of hearing about it. You know what I mean? Like, another grown, like, if he got something to say, he has my phone number. I don't understand why it's such an issue and why dude hate me so much. Like he can't be that miserable. Because y'all keep telling me, oh, he's in a different space. Obviously, he's not. He's continuing to talk about another grown man. For what?
This is how, for us, always how he's been. Or
you got to learn to grow up. 43 years old. You got kids. What's your kids think about you?
Chris, what do you think about?
He goes right to me. Like, I'm going to make this better.
No. We're changing that one. But the thing that threw me off about this was the pockets. Can you think of one board short company that has pockets?
I didn't think they were board shorts when he came out with them.
2015, whenever I started, like that's what we would get from like Bell's whenever we didn't know what we were supposed to wear for the division. So
like the Fox Racing shorts or Quicksilver.
Yeah. No, I'll give him this. Like he looks incredible. Like he looks very, very good. But this, I was speaking to multiple people, and I think I got a couple DMs on it as well as it happened. And they were like, this is literally what you were talking about on the podcast the other day. They were like, this is what not to do. And I didn't even notice the pockets until someone pointed it out to me. So
I didn't know they had pockets either. And to be honest, I just thought he was just walking around backstage with those, and then he was going to put his shorts on.
Yeah.
But then when I found out he got on stage with those, I was like, oh.
Here's the question, though. Regardless of the shorts, if he would have came out with shorts that met the criteria 100%, would it have changed his placing?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And now this is like almost like a well, look, he got bumped down because he didn't follow the standard. Because there was another guy that had really short shorts, like not short, but hiked up.
Oh, bro.
And
I talked to him.
he looked pretty dope. I didn't think that he deserved to be where he was, but I don't know if that was also like a, hey, listen, don't come on stage like this. We have a specific criteria. Don't change it. If you want to show legs, go to classic. That's the move that I thought that was made.
I don't know what that. Listen, and that's the craziest thing. The kid had a crazy physique. When he walked out with those pants, bro, like yanked up like that, I was so confused.
I thought it was a mistake.
That's what I thought.
I thought like he forgot, because when you're on the ground doing push-ups and stuff, sometimes you roll them up.
When I think it was after first call out, and they started calling the call outs, and we came back on stage after they released me, Brandon, Vitor, and Edvon, and I guess they had called the guy's name, and he walked into the lineup, and I said, no, he didn't.
Bro.
No,
That's
he
wild.
didn't.
I almost texted Chris right away when I saw this.
I thought it was just one side, but I noticed it was on both.
Well, that's even worse if you pull up one side. It's like whenever you're in a gym, you have one side up.
That's why I thought it was a malfunction, because it just
Yeah.
looked like it was something was off. Like maybe he didn't know or something.
You want to know who I want to give a huge shout out to?
Who?
Jordan Clark.
Yep.
Thank
He
you.
fixed it. I told his ass.
He came up to me right after the show.
And he looked
Right before the show.
he looked really good. He looked really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know we roasted him on the last one. I told him, and I said, hey, listen, you still did some of the
Minimized it.
extra stuff, but
Minimized a lot
look
of
at
it.
how much better it is. Yeah.
He looks really good.
Minimized a lot of it.
Bro,
Let me tell you, his back is fucking nasty in person.
Yeah, it's nice.
People don't really understand it. It's very similar to Banks. Like it's very top to bottom, complete. It almost looks like implants.
does he have a hernia?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's umbilical.
He needs to take an off season and eventually get it removed if he wants to move up, because I think it's going to come down to just that front post strategizing the shows, but I don't think he's ever going to move up. I think he has what it takes to do a show. And I mean, he was right next to Ryan Clark in that call out. Ryan Clark's a multi-time Olympian, and Jordan was pushing him. Yeah. So, I mean, if Jordan strategizes what shows he does, I think he could definitely get the qualification. Yeah. He was top 4 at DC last year when Stephen Cow won, and he made so many strides to be improved that this year I think it could definitely be done. So I just told him, I said, stop doing these big shows, bro. Like, stop. Don't do New York. I know he wants to, but I'm like, you know what? Like, do DC, do some of these other shows, maybe do Mile High or something. I know it's the same weekend, but find shows that are like that tier to where you have to strategize. If the goal is to qualify, you don't need to do Pittsburgh and New York to get next to Olympians. Just qualify for Olympia and you get that same comparison.
No, that's what Ryan Clark used to do. Like now Ryan is starting to do some bigger shows just because he already has the qualification. But
same with Daniel Ammons.
Yeah. So his resume based off of, top 3 finishes at, some of these I don't want to say non-competitive, because that's not how it is. It's just where it's not as
you're only as good as the lineup you're in. If you're in the best of the best, that's where like Olympia is like the most important show, because that's where you're ranked worldwide. But if you have a show to where this lineup, for example, like you're going to be exposed with guys that are hitters like that. You got to stay to your own level until you get to that level. That's why I didn't do Pittsburgh. I didn't do New York. I'm not planning on those shows. The goal is to qualify and then maybe do Chicago, do another show to where I know a hitter is going to come out, and then see where I stack up. Get the qualification, get the tickets. Then you don't have that stress of trying to qualify.
I agree. All right. We have Edvon. Okay, so I get roasted every time I say his name wrong. So it's Edvin Palmera?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been saying Edvon Palmero even to his face.
Sounds like a baseball player.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I think he looked insane. Again, I think I said this before. I think he has a very high ceiling, but a very high floor. He doesn't necessarily, even if he's off version of him lately has been very consistent. I believe the Wasatch Warrior wasn't even his best look compared to what Cut said. But now coming here again, he's just one of those guys that he controls his variables really well. He doesn't do anything too flamboyant. He controls everything he needs to. He's balanced from top to bottom. I think he can add a little bit more depth to his back, but I think his conditioning, I think his from basically being 20 pounds above the stage weight to now being, just hitting the cap. He's still holding on to crazy pop. I don't know, man. I think this look was insane. And for Cuts to have a top 3 at the Pittsburgh Pro.
Yeah, highlight that, bro. That's wild.
Insane.
Like, I'm sitting here like reviewing and looking over these physiques. I'm like, I can only imagine, man. Like that's an insane accomplishment. And when I talked to him about it after the show,
But having to peak all 3 of us though.
yeah, bro. And he's so like humble to a point where it's like he never gives himself credit. Like
he never will.
It's wild.
But that's what it takes to be the best, the greatest of all time. Never felt they were the greatest. They let the people say that about them, but they kept working.
100%.
I can't wait till one day he talks his shit. I don't know what it's going to take, but
I feel like his shit talking is those stories.
I know what will push him over, but that it won't ever get to that point.
Say Golden State sucks, and he'll probably snap back at
you. We went out to dinner after the show. He was more
watching it. Yeah.
Bro, he was watching the damn game.
He was like this the whole time in your story.
The whole time.
Bro, he had more.
I think bodybuilding was his first or his second passion. I know he got into bodybuilding because he's competitive through sports.
Yeah.
So just, think about how good he is at bodybuilding. He dissects probably all these players, man. He knows like their stats, every game, and it's crazy.
Yep.
I don't know how that guy's brain functions, man. And he remembers my own diet, like everything, how many grams of whatever I've had last year in October.
Think about that. Like you're a pro too. Think about how many amateurs. I'm one. He has a couple people down here, and he remembers everything about everyone. Yep. Whether you're pro or amateur, he treats everybody the same. And I think that's the most admirable thing about him, to be honest.
And see, I think that was also an issue when a lot of the pros there was like a couple pros who left him especially like after I won the Mr. Olympia and stuff. And I think he was telling me that they felt different because they thought he gave me more attention than them. Bro, you don't give a damn about me.
It's problems they created in their own head. Where they thought a certain way because look, this guy, and there are coaches that are out there that use a specific guy as their golden boy just to hire other clients, and they might not charge that guy, but then they're raping everybody else with these coaching prices and then barely talk to him. No, there's a lot of those, but you tell he's in for the right reasons. And it shows with these guys, man. Like you got 3 guys in the Pittsburgh Pro, and they're all top 3 with the best peaks in the show. It's absolutely insane.
That part. Every one of us was peaked.
Every one of them was. Again.
And you all improve. Every show that you guys do, you all improve. Like Vitor, I said this is his absolute best. I was impressed.
And bro, I was helping Edvon and Vitor backstage with their posing because they kept doing little certain things, and Cuts was like, help them with their posing. So I helped. I definitely helped Edvon and Vitor, which
teamwork makes the dream work.
And I'm looking at them. I'm like, shit, you want me to help them with their poses? What if they fucking beat me?
Beat you,
But like I said,
but it's at the end of the day, it's still all like, for me, bro, I've never been a person to be negative about somebody. So if I need to help somebody, that's what I do. It's always what I've done. And especially with me now, and we're gonna get this straight. I am not an OG. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not an OG. Erin Banks this will be my 5th professional year. This will be my 5th Olympia in October. I have not done this sport more than 5 years yet as a professional athlete. So, they think I'm older than my age might.
Because you're successful. It has nothing to do with how old you are or whatever. It's because of how fast you climbed up the ranks, and you're like always in the conversation. And these newer kids, like 5 years ago, bro, was during COVID, all these kids kind of lost their brains, and all they know now is you. When you think men's physique, you're like, okay, Aaron, Ryan, Terry, you're thinking about these guys, So you paved the way. So you're the new OG.
I'm like,
I'm more
OG than Banks.
Come on.
God. You got all these OGs that's been doing this for 15 years, man. And I just when people call me the OG, I'm like, ugh. Sound like y'all trying to make me a damn grandpa over here.
You're like, damn, that's like
give me
almost
some
master's
grace.
time.
Give me some grace. We ain't doing that. We definitely not doing that. And I never placed 3rd at a master show in my life.
All right, brother. we've been there's a now on a post on social media um, about this topic, and you hinted at it a little bit. What's your plan? Are you going to New York? Are you shutting it down? Are you going to
Bro, I
Dubai?
just had rice and chicken and vegetables. Bro, you see the vascularity?
So can you say it?
I just did an hour of cardio this morning.
Oh shit.
I wonder if you're going into your off season.
I don't know. I ain't reversing, I tell you that.
Is the contract out yet? Let me see. I'm tired of this shit. I won't play no games.
Like you might as well. Might as well. You got to do it. Might
It's
as well.
5 days, bro.
Damn, so you getting ready to hop right back on a flight?
But guess what? I am going to be watching the New York Pro in Fresno.
Oh my God.
Bro, you see, I could never, you could never know. But what's your decision on what came down to the decision to not do the show?
Once I talked to my kid's mom about my kid's schedule, Erin Banks is not missing a football practice. Nope. My son's first football practice is on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm not missing one of them.
Respect the hell out of it.
I can't.
Okay.
So before I even posted anything about it, I of course reached my hand out to Steve Weinberger, kind of talked to him a little bit about the whole decision, and he respected it. And I told him I'll be out there in 2 weeks because again, we're starting the vacation. So
That's all
we're
that.
doing um I have to go to Chicago for the big meet and greet that they're doing at the Revive, that new gym.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna do that. Fly to McAllen, get Perla ready for her peak week. We'll fly to South Carolina. From there, from South Carolina, we'll fly to New York, hang out with Steve and his wife, and go to the gym. And even I got to make sure I stay tight because I know I'm not trying to get ripped by Steve at
Yep.
all. So make sure I stay tight, go visit Steve and some of the boys out there. The comedian Rennie is one of my closest friends too that I talk to on a daily basis. So we'll be out there in New York. From New York, we'll be in some bungalows over the water. So
Damn.
it's just for me right now. It's just clearing the mind and staying focused. And I'm still locked in on just that end goal. I really do believe that I'm about to come into this Mr. Olympia and make another impact because again, what I've built in this year alone and to continue to build on it, I'm trying to make this not a competition anymore. I'm this time around, it's not me playing around. I just want to dominate at this point. And that's the end goal.
This is a crazy. This sets up so much excitement going into the show. Like,
Yeah.
actually think about this for a second, right? Like, say there's top eight, right? Take out the Olympia. The eighth place just got beat, right, by somebody who wasn't originally in the conversation, right? And then you have fifth place just lost to seventh place, right? And then you have
Yeah.
right? And then you have Brandon, who was literally never been out of the top five, and over the last couple of years been in the top three, right? He got beat by the current third place in the world, and who seemingly is improving. And then
fifth and third, yeah.
Yeah, see, exactly, right. And
so it's like every way you look at it, it's kind of like a lot of the guys moved up and some guys moved back, some guys moved in that were never in the conversation. So
Yeah.
keeps that door open like a revolving door. And that's why Olympia is so unpredictable because it's all about how you look that day. Just because some guy came in really, really good at Pittsburgh doesn't mean he's like, just when Chiron beat Erin, leading into the Olympia, everybody had Chiron then winning the Olympia, but then I believe he was sixth or seventh, so it's hitting that look that day.
So Chris, do you think this is the changing of the old guard?
I think that this year for Erin alone, he did competitions right before the Olympia last year, right?
Yeah, I did Dubai. Yeah.
And yeah, so I think that him having a rest between now and then is going to be a big deal because just personally for me doing shows the same way, if I get a rest and I can reset my mind, it's going to be a lot better. Obviously, the other two guys that are waiting in the shadows right now, Ryan and Ali, they're going to be bringing it. You have Vitor and now Ed Van. Is it Ed Van? That's how we're pronouncing
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Ed Van. Yeah. So he's improving as well. So I think that whenever the Olympia comes around, whoever's the most on that day will be the winner. Because you guys all have complete physiques, right? And whoever doesn't have something there is going to bring that up. I think that this top 5 battle is going to be one of the best that we've seen in a very, very
long time.
Very long time.
Okay.
Like a storyline leading into it too. So it's
because we don't know who's going to win. To be honest, we don't know. There's always a favorite of, hey, Ryan Terry's just going to be complete. He's going to smash it. Or Ali's got the crazy serratises and abs and his conditioning cannot be beat. Well, I don't know. From looking at Erin this last show, pretty peeled, right? That's going to contend. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of questions here, and it's going to be freaking. I'm excited, man. I'm going to be there for sure.
If you had to make a prediction now, do you have Brandon in your top 5?
Yes.
Drew?
Yeah, I do.
1000%.
I do too.
Because he's going to lock in even more. If anything, this is like a reality check that he's going to go back to the drawing board, cut out some stuff. You know, knowing Brandon, I know how he is. He's OCD. He's gonna take a step back because, you know, this was, you know, a wake-up call. You know, you never know what to expect when you take that time off. The sport keeps changing, and if you're staying still and stagnant, you know, you're not irrelevant as much anymore. So I think him jumping into the show with a massive lineup, I think it's just going to light a fire under his ass. If he gets that back match in that front, I mean, as far as just the detail, I mean, he's going to move up dramatically.
I'm going to do a way too early Olympia prediction here. Okay.
Let's do
I'm
it.
going to have number 5, Vitor, number 4, Brandon, number 3, Ryan, number 2, Ali, and number 1, Erin.
That's bold.
Write it down right now. I'll screen record this later on.
Don't make any comments because he's going to find y'all.
Hey, and
that's what he do.
My prediction before the classic physique was Terrence Ruffin was going to win by 1 point to Jose. And what happened?
Yep. See, right now, I think it's going to be. See, I can't even say that, man. I can't even say it because of Ryan. But like, I really want to see Erin versus Ali again.
Yes.
I want to see this version of Erin, even a little better. Because like, let's be real. Like, if he can, Erin doesn't have to beat Ali's conditioning because of a lot of the strengths he already has. Right?
Talking about the completeness. That's what I'm talking about.
So that's what I'm saying, right? And I think that was the clear difference of Erin. Like I was sitting like damn near front row, right behind the damn near, right? So I'm looking up, and you could see the difference in terms of like how structurally he was built compared to other people. And I think again, that's his calling card, right? That's going to be the thing that carries him. And obviously, next to that is going to be the conditioning, standing next to Ryan and Ali. But like seeing the best version of Ali versus the true best version of Erin, that's going to be so exciting of a battle, man. Because I don't think Ali is maxed out, and I'm curious to see how he continues to kind of fine tune with the weight cap situation, where Erin doesn't necessarily have to worry about it as much. So it's just.
I think I weighed in at 226, 227.
And what's your weight cap? 232?
232.
Oh shit. So
hey, Brandon lost Olympia and came back and won. You can do it too. So
yeah, he was the first to do it, right?
Absolutely. Yep. I know I can do it.
Erin, what did you say to Brandon? Because you went around and shook everybody's hand, which I thought, again, in that moment it spoke a lot of your character. And then you stopped at Brandon, the last guy, and spoke to him for a second. And I don't know if anybody else was wondering this, but as a fan sitting there watching it, I was like, what the fuck did he just say to him?
This may seem weird. this may seem weird, but let me tell you guys a story before I even say this. When I met Brandon, I was a fan. I went to my first expo as a fan. I wasn't even bodybuilding yet. I was in the talks of being talked into competing. So Brandon had, I think, won it in 2018. That was my first LA Fit Expo. I remember to this day. I still got a picture with Brandon, literally. Took a picture with Brandon. From there, I ended up hiring him as a opposing coach, right?
Good.
So hired him as opposing coach, going into the USA Championships in Vegas to get my pro card. So at that point, me and Brandon was talking it was either every day or every other day, depending on the lead up into the show. I believe we gained a crazy friendship. You know what I mean? So we were boys. Like I'd text him, we would call each other, whatever the case may be. Won my pro card. I can still got even the videos of him. Oh, my boy Banks just got it. Like it was crazy, right? So fast forward, COVID hit. I didn't do shit. But coming back into the industry in 2021, my rookie season, Brandon was again my posing coach. Like he helped me pose for the Houston Tournament of Champions my rookie year.
That was your pro debut.
Yeah, my pro debut,
The Cali Muscle one.
debut, placed second. Then I went to Wasatch, still was talking, kind of helping me through the poses and stuff like that. And then I think after the Pittsburgh, I don't know, it was just some drop off. I don't know what happened or
Okay.
whatever. I don't even remember what happened. But next thing you know, I won the New York Pro, and it got real silent going into my first Olympia. From there, I placed second. No one knew I was going to play second. Like it was just out of nowhere. But then again, like I'm thinking, Brandon, my boy, I'm messaging him like, bro, we should do a rookie versus veteran type of road to Olympia, like just for YouTube. Yeah. It gave me the runaround. So at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, we ain't on that level no more, I guess. So, and that was the Olympia. So after that, y'all know me, like my confidence is always gonna be there. So I don't know if he took it wrong to where I'm like, oh, I'm winning it next year. Like this is like that was just my mindset. And it's okay for me to have my mindset and believe in myself. It's okay for that. But I just felt I guess that rubbed him the wrong way or whatever the case may be. And then just the animosity was just there, right? So regardless of all that, I never really took anything serious. Because even then, like at the nationals, I saw him. I saw him there. It was cool. We sat with each other, whatever the case may be. This was this was after the Olympia, I believe, in November. Um, but to fast forward, all this other craziness started coming out with the rivalry, and now he talking back and forth. I'm talking. Of course, I don't take shit from nobody. I'm just doing what I'm doing. Uh, then he loses the Mr. Olympia. I don't know what in the world went down. Then you got the three amigos in the gym talking about he got robbed and all this other crazy stuff. And next thing you know, now everybody's against me. Everybody hates Erin Banks because Erin Banks said he was going to win the Olympia and he won it. Everybody hated me. So from there, I don't know. I don't really know where the animosity or the hate came from, but it was what it was. I never directly said nothing to him. Nothing. Zero. Absolutely nothing. So I don't know where it came from, but I never let my feelings kind of get away off into that. So fast forward, and of course we haven't talked, and of course he just did an interview with Jay Cutler and saying I messaged him, which I did. I sent him a long ass message
You
saying
showed us. That was the one you sent us, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
saying I don't understand what the problem is, and I don't have no issues with you, and blah blah blah. He read it,
You never answered?
never answered, whatever. So at that point, then he goes to the Jay Cutler show and Jay, I don't know why Jay ended up asking him, but Jay asked him, so how's you and Aaron's relationship? Oh, we don't have a relationship. He had messaged me, blah, 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 but I'm in my lane, he in his lane, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, okay. So therefore, fast forward to this show. Shook everybody's hand like I normally do. It's just a respect for everybody getting on that stage and competing and bringing what they brought. Got to Brandon. I literally told him, I love you. I respect you. That was it. Walked away. I don't think he expected that because the thing is, my feelings never changed for Brandon. Never. I always thought of him as a friend or whatever the case may be. So I left it at that. But I'm always going to be at peace. I'm never going to have any animosity or nothing like that because why would I want, as a grown ass man, to have something bother me, irk me, like nothing. I've told you guys a couple months ago, like the whole reflection, the whole me being just E Banks and me evolving, me growing in X, Y, and Z is I don't want to have to look over my shoulder or feel some type of way about nobody. If I got something to say or if I got an issue with somebody, I've addressed it besides one person. And I don't ever think I will just because of the disrespect. But at the end of the day, I reached out to Brandon multiple times. And again, what I said was, I love you, I respect you. It is what it is.
You know,
That's good. That's awesome stuff, man.
I don't. I think this is a fan of me. I've always liked Brandon. You know, I know he's been through a lot in his life, but I've always liked the way, or at least seemingly, kind of grew up from some of the stuff that he used to do in the past. He's always been more reserved. I feel like since then, he's never really came out publicly. You know, maybe outside of this year, to talk. You know, about certain things or that competitive side of things. You know, and I remember you telling the story how you guys were close, and I've always wondered kind of what created that divide, that separation between you guys.
I have no clue. I have no clue.
Competition.
I think
I
that's
mean,
what it
it
is.
happens. It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, I think it's just when
Two
everybody's
people trying to be the best, it's going to happen. It's going to
everybody in
happen.
the world is comparing you to. I think that's the problem, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
even if it's not you two, it's just hearing consistently, you know, your name next to this person, and he's gonna.
But again, you have to learn about growth, bro. Like I get it. You get compared, bro. We're talking about 2021 where we fell out.
Yeah,
It's 2025, bro. I sent you a message at the beginning of last year. You read it. You still feel some type of way. You still talk about me. Like
you guys wish that you guys could mend that and actually not just be okay, but actually be friends or however.
at the end of the day, bro, Erin Banks is at peace. I don't have to mend anything. I'm the one who reached out. I'm the one who shook his hand. I'm the one that's over with. My piece is I'm good.
Yeah.
That's on him.
Yeah, at this point, it's just him needing to clear his head and get past the things that had happened. It's really what it comes down to.
Damn, man. Well, that's one thing I never would have expected you to say to him. I'll be honest with you. But
Nobody expected it. My sister was the first one to ask me, "What'd you tell him?" My sister,
he knows.
she just makes sure that I didn't say nothing crazy because she know how I feel about when people disrespect me. Um, but no, she was like, "You told him that?" I'm like, "Yeah," right to his face and
Well,
looked
you
right
could
in
see
his
the shock
eyes.
on his face whenever you
Oh, he
said
was
it.
shocked. He was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it was like almost like a blank stare. Like, did that just actually happen?
absolutely.
Yeah.
He wasn't expecting that. I wasn't even expecting it, to be honest. I didn't know what I was going to do. To be honest, I told myself, don't shake that man's hand, give him a fist bump and keep it going. I
Nope.
don't know why I did what I did.
I'm not gonna lie. Like as you started to shake everybody,
Yeah.
like the way you were doing it, Brandon was going to be the last one. So I'm sitting here like, what is he about to do?
But
I
again,
thought
bro,
he was going to turn away.
I'm telling you, man, with my growth and what I've gone through, it was more on God like telling me, do not do nothing stupid. And I just said, okay.
I mean, you kind of did something stupid a little later though.
What I do?
In your speech.
That's all good fun though, bro.
That's all fun and games,
Oh,
man.
that was
Ali know
good.
that. That was great
Yes.
competition, man. That was great talk for, leading up into the Olympia, man. And man, like I said, I saw Ali backstage really right after that. So
So it was the pause that got me, bro. As soon as he said,
everybody was in the comments saying pause.
soon as he said pause, I lost it, bro. That was the
Everybody lost it.
Oh my
You should have
God.
seen the judges' faces. You should have seen the judges' faces.
I was gonna say, I like what the, I don't even know how Tyler would react to that. That shit was
Bro, everybody started to laugh. And that's the thing, bro. I'm a person who I've been a class clown all my life. You know what I mean? I've wanted to always make people smile and laugh and just I'm an energetic person like that. So of course I'm gonna always give my personality, when I do certain things and especially bringing it into this industry. Um, that's just who I am. So of course I'm in this speech, I'm already emotional. I'm like, man, because now I'm getting to the point where like, okay, I got to spice it up. We got to do some laughter here. We can't just be emotional and all this other crazy shit going on. So,
no, you like to pull out. Pause.
yeah,
Alex
yeah.
called me while he was still at the show and he was still on stage. He goes, because I was driving back, he goes, bro, did you see what happened? I'm like, I didn't even have time to even go on Instagram yet. He had to tell me. He's like, all right, I'll see you later. He just hung up on me. I'm like, so then
Yo,
I saw it right on Instagram. I'm like,
It was the funniest
damn.
thing. Oh,
I
bro,
was, I just like I said, I like to have fun, and it's like I said, me and Ali, and we even met up with Ryan and saw Ryan after prejudging, and just talking to those guys it just inspires me because we all know they're known for a certain thing, and I'm known for my back, of course, but these guys have been in front of me the past year, right? And Ryan the past 2 years. So it just inspires me to kind of see what I've built relationship wise with these guys versus the past guys that those relationships just are non-existent. But just to be able to talk to Ryan and talk to Ali and kind of throw our little shots here and there and do what we do, like that's what I the competition is about. That is what it's
exciting.
about. It's exciting, but again, we still respect each other. We're not getting off of the internet and then talking shit behind each other's back, which they probably do. I don't care. But like, like we still respect each other when we see each other. Like, I don't even like when it comes to those other dudes, I don't even look at them. I don't look their way. It's just pointless for me.
Yeah.
So
I will say this, I've had the opportunity to talk to Ryan a lot, not just this past week, but over the few years. I don't think he's somebody to talk about bad behind someone's back by any means. I think
no,
he has one of the highest characters in this division, and
absolutely.
it's just one of those things that he's a true champion, and I think he holds himself to it. And I think Ali as well. I think Ali's still like growing, right? He went.
He's growing.
I don't want to say he went from a nobody because he wasn't, but let's be real. He went from last calls at the Olympia, to in that conversation,
Yeah,
the win, right? So,
quick.
and then winning the Arnold all in, like he's being looked at as this golden child. And again, when you're under a microscope for that long, and you've learned that, right? Like you've
Yeah,
grown so fast that you make one false move is now publicized everywhere on social media.
yeah,
So, I think people just have to move a little bit different, and learn how to move different quick. But I think we got some really good guys in terms of characters at the top, exciting guys, personalities wise, to keep it
yeah.
right. So that's why I'm so, as a
And
fan.
and that's why, I said in my speech, because Dan Solomon and Jake Wood was sitting there too, kind of wanted just to let them know that this is still on that friendly side, but this is what we're bringing to the Mr. Olympia, the excitement that I feel that's going to be outrageous. I mean, I'm telling you right now, the men's physique will be probably the most talked about. Well,
Yeah,
I ain't gonna say the open is
Open's
fucking
crazy
crazy.
right now, bro.
Open is on another level. I'm not gonna say that this year about Open
Did you
because,
see Nick Walker backstage?
bro, Nick was a fucking mutant. That's why they call him that.
Bro,
He was on. He was on. They both was on. They both brought phenomenal packages and kind of hitting on what Chris was saying, like it's apples and oranges.
Yep.
And I truly believe Derek deserved it. As far as if you're gonna look at a tie, you're looking at two guys, right? Whose structure is better? I might say Derek.
yeah,
Who has more of the prettier look? Nothing against Nick. He's not an ugly guy, but it's the look of the physique. They're gonna probably look at Derek. Okay, now who's the face of kind of Open? Who's the pretty boy? Like I said, Nick's not ugly, but it's that pretty white, like,
Who
okay,
fits the
Brian Terry.
criteria overall?
Brian Terry kind of lookish, right? They're gonna pick Derek. But again, you can still go. Fucking Nick was on. He's massive. He brought the conditioning. He's brought the detail. Oh, they say his stomach was big. That boy brought a tight ass waist.
Yeah.
His fucking back was dense. Like this. Like I haven't seen a lot of people compare to Derek's back double
Yes.
than fucking Nick's.
Same
Like
thing I said.
Nick fucking back double was whacked.
I honestly think you beat him in the back double. That's my
His
opinion.
back double was
Dude, those hamstrings are
whacked.
insane, especially for tearing your hamstring like that last year.
Bruh.
Unreal.
So that's why I'm saying like it could have went either way, but as I'm looking at it and I'm gonna put my judge's hat on, I can see kind of why they lean more towards Derek than Nick.
I'm gonna be full transparent. I actually had Nick winning, but like,
I thought Nick won after prejudging.
he did. Like, didn't he win on paper?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, it was 7-8 and then 8-7. So
He
Nick
Oh,
won
was definitely tighter
prejudging.
at night. You could see it in the quads, especially. Derek's quads were very, very peeled. You had feathering, and Nick's kind of went away at finals. Now, as he posed, obviously it got tighter
It
and
got
tighter
better,
where it
yeah.
got close. But whenever they first walked out, I think that's where the judges put that score there, is that first impression was Derek was there. And I saw it flip at night because I was big time Nick. I was like, oh, Nick's got this. And then he came out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I literally said
Yeah.
out loud. I was like, oh, wait a second. I go, this is going to be weird.
Pretty close.
Yeah, Nick's
Yeah.
the freakiest, but bodybuilding shows aren't judged just basic on the who's the most freaky. You know, look at Lee Priest, look at
Like this is
Marcus
the
Rule.
best I've ever seen Nick look, bro.
Well, I'll
Nick
tell you
looked
one thing. If this was judged in the
insane.
90s, Nick would have won because they would want that on a magazine cover right there. That
Yep.
is freaky. You see that on Muscular and Development, dude?
Yes,
That's
that's
going to
gone.
sell magazines right there.
That's gone. Yep.
Do you think when the battle was as close as it was, things like the varicose veins could actually hurt him?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man, that's
I mean, it's anything as far as like, you know, just little intricate details that just might not be as clean and polished as the other guy, because Derek has a really clean physique. You know, there's not necessarily a weak point. Like people will give him, oh, his chest is soft or shoulders are soft because he doesn't have as many feathers or veins as Nick. But the same argument could be for Nick and, you know, the freaky leg. Like some people like it, like guys that like the mass monsters and the freaks, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's sick. But you know, sometimes it's not as appealing.
Come on,
you
bro.
know?
Look at that waist. I'm just happy that he got his gut and
He's
under
crazy
control.
balanced. Like
He's
think
definitely
people
improved
underestimate that.
with
A
the waist.
lot. Like,
But next to Derek, when Derek's hitting a front double
But
bicep
you gotta
with
understand,
a vacuum,
Derek's
that's where it
waist is
exposes him a little bit.
so small.
Yeah.
Derek's waist is so small.
But it's who you're compared to. So Ali doesn't have the smallest waist, and your
True.
waist is smaller than his. But it's also Ali being as razor as he is, it could appear like it's better or a dominant part of him. So it's who you're next to. I mean, you know, there's certain poses I went back and forth with. I mean, it was close, but after prejudging, I was very impressed with Derek and Nick. I sat right next to Alex and I said the same thing. I'm like, this is Derek's show. And then I saw Nick and I'm like, oh, wait. You know, and then when they were next to each other, I did notice Martin was out of the conversation because it seems
That
like he just
shot
didn't
right
hit his
there is
peak.
sick.
Yeah, his
That's a
side
sick
poses
shot.
are absolutely insane, dude.
Yeah.
He was granite.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. These guys were trading shots. And what was weird, it felt like Nick was winning shots that I think it thought he should lose, like the back double.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on right here?
That's
like,
unheard of to say Derek would lose a back double
Back
because of
double.
how dominant he's been. But
you know,
Nick, with the hamstrings in the lower half, just as far as the detail was insane. Derek isn't known for crazy detail. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
he's just known for being complete. He's a pretty structured guy. Nick isn't
Derek
known for
width
structure.
is silly.
Stupid. Yeah.
Like it's absolutely silly how fucking wide his little short ass is.
Just him walking
bro,
around.
It's like a
he's
6'5" clavicle structure.
we're
on
up
a
here
5'8"
standing on
guy.
the stage together. I'm like, how is this mother so wide? Like, it don't make no sense how wide he is.
Bro, he lives down here in Tampa, so I've seen him walk around. Chris, you've seen him. Bro
Yeah.
is insanely like underrated in terms of size. And
Yeah.
it's just it puts things in perspective truly how big people like Nick Walker are. Because I still think Nick, I don't want to say overpowered him, but you can clearly see the difference in mass.
Oh,
I see
Definitely
Nick and
is a
Martin in the
mass
gym all the
monster.
time as well. And those three guys are, I'm being honest, I've seen so many open bodybuilders, and they're probably the most impressive guys I've seen.
Yeah. What happened with Martin?
He
Just missed his peak, it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. He either
Faded.
I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but he either overate or he's just holding on to water there. And if you see the comparison from what was it, the Arnold or the Olympia he did last, you just see the film of water there.
Yeah. People want to talk about how he downgraded. It's not about downgrading. I still think he had a lot of muscle tissue, but it's the peak could literally change you. Like it could make look like a years of difference, especially in the side. He's known for legs and striated glutes. But to me, like it just was, he was exposed too because William Bonac was on. And then when he was next to him, it was kind of like, okay, it's putting a lot in perspective here. Like he's battling in a level that he's far above as far as right now. But he just showed that look that, wasn't a peaked Martin, and they're always going to judge you against your previous best too. So that's why I think he was knocked too. But, Derek and Nick, best peaks. I think this was Martin's worst peak, but I talked to him this morning. He's more hungry than ever. I'm like, dude, I don't want to be cliche and tell you like you learn more from the losses. I'm just saying this is something that you need. And he's like, yeah, man, I just need to be, knocked down just because I'm that much more motivated. Because sometimes it might get to your head.
Candy?
Well, you're not doing the New York Pro, so eat up. It'd probably help you, to be honest. I don't know how your body is, but that metabolism is probably going to be booming the more you eat. Yeah.
Damn, Will was crazy.
Yeah, he was nuts, man.
Will was on.
Jesus Christ. All right, last one. Chris, what'd you see here? Because I actually had to go in the other way.
Okay, so I'll give you exactly. I know the judges were, and this is why I predicted exactly what was going to go down. So you have Terrence, who is incredibly conditioned. Now everyone's going to say he wasn't as conditioned. He pretty much was. He's just black as hell, dude. He's a Black Panther, bro. If he wanted to be a Marvel actor, easily Black Panther.
That boy is black as hell,
dude. He's the blackest dude ever. Okay, so you can't see the details. It's like if you smack a super dark tan on, you're not going to see it, but he is.
His syrup definitely goes in the pantry.
Okay, then if you look, the one thing I think that he won on, the one thing that I think he won on was if you look at the front pose. Whenever they're doing a front double bi or any type of front pose, Terrence's quad sweeps makes his X frame look so much
silly.
better.
Looks like a little action figure.
Yes.
So if you put the whole package together, which I was talking about earlier in the podcast, where you have a total package you're bringing onto stage, you have Terrence, who is just as muscular. Okay, he is a smaller physique, but if you blew him up to Jose's size, he's going to look crazy. Okay, you can't do that, right? So then you have the crazy X frame, you have the muscularity, you have the conditioning, and then you wrap it up with being the best poser probably in IFBB history.
Yes.
You're not going to beat
history. No.
Who? Dude. Better than Terrence?
Nobody's better than Terrence.
Oh, that, yeah. He's green. Okay, good. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was going to say, what the hell?
He's so easy to watch, bro. It's just motivating.
He literally, if he left the sport, it would be such a disservice to the sport. Let's just put it that way.
100%.
Because he is teaching the younger generation of how it should look.
Yep. Wild, bro.
Dude.
That's what classic is when I look at it. And honestly, Jose and Alex knew how happy I was to see him because by far the most conditioned human being I've ever seen in person.
Dude, yeah.
This dude looks like he has like some sort of disease. Backstage. That's why he's that fucking conditioned. Like he had detail.
Ridiculous backstage.
He looks see-through, bro. He looks like a raw piece of steak. But not the best structure, especially when you're next to Terrence.
He was so
not the best
big.
structure. Yeah, he's definitely big. He does have a bigger waist. If he was in any other lineup and he didn't have Terrence exposed him.
Look at the quads. They don't sweep like Terrence's, so it's not going to give an X frame. His waist is going to look a little bigger than Terrence's.
It's like Wesley's legs from the back.
Look at his fucking glutes.
Now, I do have a good question for y'all, okay? So we're talking about conditioning, right? And I think they brought it up on whenever they were doing the live stream. But who do you think wins? Logan Franklin or him if they come in both as conditioned as Logan was in the Arnold?
Yeah, Logan.
That's close. No, but
I'm going to go Logan.
I'm taking Josema.
I got Jose, bro. I've seen them
name?
both in person. I know Logan Franklin as far as when he was in the Arnold, Tyler did say. I think this also, I've never really liked Logan's physique, to be honest with you. I don't know what it is. Like, I just never liked this physique. So maybe that's why I'm like
But to
biased.
be honest, at the end of the day, I think Logan has one of the prettiest classic looks.
I think I don't know, man. I think if people were screaming robbery when Logan lost, I didn't understand that. I mean, to me, it was very clear that Mike.
No, I thought it was clear too. He has a great look. I mean, if you're going to look at classic, I mean, it's a great look. I mean, these guys are all making the weight cap versus their
But
height.
I think it's also hard right now because of Chris. Chris is
I think
Yeah,
the
they're
only
still
person
trying to
I
what's
can
going to
see
be
Mike
the
is
standard
Terrence.
now. So
Yeah.
they're trying to. I think Terrence has a great shot, to be honest with you,
Yes,
bro.
I
So
think the
do I.
only person I could challenge Mike is Terrence because of the structure.
that's
But
it.
I saw them in the lineup when they were posing next to each other for the.
Dino looks wild, bro. He looks like he's getting ready for a show.
Dude.
He looks open.
He looks
He
huge.
made Mike look small.
He did. That's why I'm sitting here like, wait, what the fuck? Like, I thought Mike was huge. I thought Mike was
I mean,
damn.
Wesley was full blown as well. Looking back, it's
Yeah.
like he almost over diets or something because he
Wait.
looked crazy.
Drew, did you see Erins?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's like, dude, he looks 300
What happened?
pounds.
Bro, he looks 300 pounds. I'm not kidding. It's not.
He's huge, bro.
Bro,
You could
you
put a
like-
quarter in the back of his neck. That's how big his neck is.
Bro,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
everything is big. It's wild, dude. And he's already.
It looked uncomfortably big for a classic guy.
I'm
Like, he
telling you,
looked
bro.
open.
He looked like I don't want to disrespect because he looked crazy good, like big, but he looked like who was it, Lee Priest off season.
Yeah.
Like
Oh shit!
where he like nothing looks comfortable on him anymore. It was
It's
crazy.
the German way, man.
Yeah, bro, he's got big.
Does he need this size though? Like, what
Mhm.
is his feedback?
The
Was it size?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't need to grow, but he's this close to the weight cap. That's the problem.
That's the thing. So body refinement. I know he has really good legs and his like biceps, especially next to Bumstead. I mean, anybody next to Bumstead just looked off. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it's just hard to go off of that. But I always noticed that his arms were a little bit underwhelming to his lower half.
Before we get out of here, I do want to ask you this because I know Chris was in the comments arguing with some, but Erin, you were getting not even you specifically, but people were yelling robbery and things like that. Like, one, how do you take that, and two, like, what were your thoughts on it?
I love it. Just like they've been screaming robbery since 2022. I love it.
I don't
Because
know.
guess what? In 2022, what did the scorecard say?
Perfect.
Flawless victory. What did Pittsburgh say? Flawless victory. So where's the robbery?
Exactly.
You know,
But it's also the fans, like I talked about from the beginning of this, the theme of today. It's almost like the perspective. If you're a fan of somebody and your boy loses, it's almost like, oh, it's a robbery. It's easy. But it's not just Banks that beat Brandon. That's why you can't say robbery.
That
There's
part,
two
like, I
other
don't understand that.
great guys
Like,
that are above him. And I had somebody in my live today. They're like, do you think Brandon was robbed? I said, no, I don't. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I said, tell me who he beat and why you would have them above, why you would have Brandon above them. And it's like, well, he definitely had Edvin beat. I said, but where and why?
where?
Once you break it down, I think they start to rationalize with it. And they're like, oh man, my bad. And once you explain it, it's not who you prefer, what physique you would like to have.
Right.
It's about what the criteria is. And that's ultimately what it came down to. Not your favorite guy. And those are the dick riders,
Yeah.
But at least
Right.
I'm not one now because you won. You redeemed everybody.
Thank
We're
you.
good.
I got
Keep it
y'all.
going.
I had.
Yeah.
I felt too confident about this show to.
We
to let
saw
y'all
it, bro.
do.
You're radiating. You
when you
walked out in that
he texted me
red tracksuit. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
when you texted me, like, here, come to the side real quick. When me and Drew walked over, he was like, you walked up, I'm fucking on, I'm winning the show. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it
he was so
I was
like
on.
locked in. I don't think you
Like-
smiled until after prejudging.
I didn't.
Bro was ready.
Yeah, he had to remember to smile on stage. He was that
That
serious,
part.
and I think it clicked on
He
him.
said-
I did.
said one
bro,
more
even
time,
when I
bro.
walked out, I'm
Yeah.
dead ass serious. Because I walked out and I was like, okay, I'm in my zone.
You were business,
I
bro.
hit my first shot. I did not smile, and that's not normal for me. I went to set up and go to my second one. I was like, in my head, I'm already saying, you need to smile. So I smiled.
I knew
Bro,
exactly what you
I
were
almost
thinking.
fucking forgot to smile because I was so in my head, like right there. I'm like, I should have smiled. I usually smile right here. My first shot is a smile.
But it's so
And
weird.
I had to, And I said, I had to smile.
But
Like,
it looked
bro,
more natural when you did that. Like when you
yeah,
first come out, you're just smiling. When you walk right to that center, bro, and it was just
yeah,
like
it
usually
was
you walk
business.
slow, hype up the crowd. I'm like, no,
Oh
you didn't
no,
do any of that extra shit.
there was no walking to that back box showing that. No, I went straight to that box and I just went to work.
Oh yeah.
Went to work.
Oh yeah.
This shot right here, I love it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
new,
it was
huh?
dope.
He
That's
said.
new. I said, hold on.
I thought
Hold
that
on.
was dope. I thought that was dope. No reason to refine it. Just hit him one more time.
Yeah. And
You don't
that's
got to.
what
You don't got to do all this extra stuff and change up your whole
no.
routine. Just show them what you're known for.
And that's
And
why I
you
went
did
right
that.
back to the back.
I like it, man.
So
I like that. I was in the video. I don't know if you heard me laugh. I started cracking up. I said, he said one more time. I'm like, okay. Like,
I did.
listen to the video.
Bro,
Yeah.
Ariel just sent me like hella videos from
Yeah.
his little camera thing. I'm like,
Dude,
I
I
can
was
hear
sweating. I was
everybody
hyped up.
talking.
I'm like, damn. Maria was whistling for you and stuff. She knows how to whistle with her fingers and shit. I'm like,
Oh, I
That's
can
we
hear
were there, bro. We were there.
a
We're
white
showing
people
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot whistle like that. I got
White
buddies who
people.
can do that shit. Yeah, white people
He's
do
Puerto
that shit.
Rican. That don't count.
it's the fridge thing. It's a fridge thing. That's all.
She'll be offended if you call her white.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
She like I don't eat coleslaw and not season my chicken like you. I'm like,
Hilarious. I'm weak.
my family's like hella white, bro. Like birthday parties and all that. It's the food sucks. White people
That's
food.
all good.
And one more time, show the trophy real quick. That shit is crazy. Damn. Now we got all the titles now, don't you?
And that's what I wanted to hit on too before we got off, bro. Like we talk about resumes. I believe I have the best resume. Name someone who has all the top shows in the world.
Yeah. I mean, not Jeremy, not Brandon. Does this move him? Where does it? Ooh, well,
no, it don't move nobody. It's just
Ryan.
The thing is just a lot of people like to say people are better in X, Y, and Z, but
it definitely doesn't hurt you getting this title. It's only going to help you. I mean, in comparison to the lineup as well.
And this is why I say I love my resume, because it don't matter what show I've done, Erin Banks is always in top 3.
Yeah.
And that's the difference with other guys. So, for example, Ali off, we saw where he was. Ryan Terry off, 7th place. And off Banks still 3rd.
That part.
So if what I'm going to say is this, okay, we have how many Physique Olympia champions are going to do Olympia this year? We have Brandon, we have Jeremy, I think that's trying to do it, right?
Yeah, Jeremy's doing
and we
it.
have Ryan.
And I do want to hit on that too before we do move on, because since I'm hitting on everybody right now, I just want to make this clear. Jeremy said in his video, "Oh, I just want to beat Erin one time." It'll never happen. It'll never happen. So don't waste your time. You might as well retire now.
So the point I was getting at before you made that,
I love you, Jeremy. Love you.
You're giving me so much clickbait material, bro.
Think about
I don't know what to go with.
I don't know what to go with. Is it the Andre situation? Is Brandon, I love you?
I mean,
you already know if you don't get to it, one of those other pages are going to get to it. That bodybuilding TV, they're going to be like, "No, Erin said this." It's like, oh man.
No, I'm at peace. So there's no animosity or like I'm just speaking on what they spoke on. Jeremy said he can be.
You're just saying what you believe. Yeah.
No, I think some of these guys
it's just
start to dislike me because they think I'm guilty by association. Drew, have you ever gotten any of that before?
All the time, bro. I get DMs all the time, and like, or Banks will say something, and it's like, you want to throw me in the category because he said this about, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, no, I didn't say it. No, I don't agree with everything. I kind of keep my mouth shut. If somebody asks me a question, I give my opinion. But for the most part, we agree on a lot of the same things.
Right.
But we also talk about why we give these opinions. Yep. Not just 100%. I give my opinion because like I tell why, so then people could be educated about it. Yeah. So that's the whole point of Men's Physique Radio. A lot of people came up to me and Alex at the expo and like, I love Men's Physique Radio. I love it. And I said, what's something you want to hear more of? And I kind of put them on the spot and they're nervous, and I'm like, hey, just think about it. keep watching the channel. If you think about anything, start commenting on the videos. Like, what's more you guys want to hear about? Because this is why we do it. Sometimes we run out of talking points, or we talk about the same shit, especially when we're, closing a season off and all the shows are over at the Olympia. Like, there's only so much to cover. So I want to know what these guys want to hear more of, since it gets them through cardio. Because I wish I had access to stuff like this when I was younger, getting new stuff. I didn't have that. I listened to the Hodge twins and stuff like that, but it was like the comedy, it wasn't like, education, or you could literally do your first show without a coach just by being locked in and learning from this podcast, literally.
Yep. All right, fellas. Chris, you got a show yet?
No, I'm taking a year off to grow, because I basically told Erin. I told Cuts, I was like, listen, dude, I was like, once I get that pro card, I'm going to the pro stage that next week. So I said, if I'm not contending for, like, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm going to be like Erin, like, I'm going to be confident. If I'm not competing for that top 5 spot at a pro show, I don't want to do it. So I'm going to take off as much time as I need to, whether that's a year or 2 years, grow my physique and show up. That's what it is.
Yeah. Don't waste time bringing the same package, same look with the same no improvements, just the same look. So many guys year after year are stagnant. And
that's also another thing I heard since we hitting on all this shit. Erin Banks brings the same package every year. Really, because when I was a rookie,
you're maxed out your weight cap. That's not the same package.
I weighed 221. Every year I've gained weight. Every year I brought a different look.
People always want to talk, bro.
What did we all tell you before you won this weekend? I'm always gonna want you to do well and believe in you. All you guys, we do this podcast, and this is the purpose. Like, if somebody is better, we do our predictions, we say why, but it's just, I forgot my train of thought here. Prep brain.
Yeah.
I was leading into something.
That's the 4-week out version of you.
Oh man, I don't know what I've been having this problem to where I'm mid sentence and I'll literally forget what I'm talking about.
Bro, that is
I don't know if you guys do that shit or what, but I mean,
that is
it's
prep
something.
brain, bro.
That's prep brain for sure.
That is prep brain.
That's all the way prep brain.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, Drew, 4 weeks out. I'm excited for you to get that.
Am I next up already? Put me in, coach.
Yeah, you up, bro?
Next up, bro.
Let's go. We got to go live, or we got to.
Oh, what I was gonna say was, Erin Banks brings the same package every year. It's like, oh, Drew has no back, so until you pop out and you show him, then there's something else.
That's right. That's why I was quiet this whole time. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Same package, but he popped out with a beard. That's not the same package as me. My mom didn't recognize you at first. She's like, I saw this guy. He looked crazy, but he had a beard.
My girl said the same thing. She goes, "What's this beard?" I go, "Looks good, right?"
Why did my mom text me about Erin's beard too?
Your mom guessed Ricardo being 5th.
Yeah, but my mom loves this shit.
She's like, "You guys forgot about Ricardo," and I'm like, "Yeah, no." And then he got 5th. I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Bro, my mom loves this shit, dude. Like, she loves this shit.
She went to Miami when you didn't do it.
I didn't even go.
She was there watching it. You didn't even go. Yeah,
she flew to Miami. Like,
that's wild.
To watch the show you weren't in, just
without me being there, bro. I'm telling you, she loves.
You got to watch me. It's all right.
Shout out to moms. Happy Mother's Day. We love you. Appreciate you. And we're out, fellas. I appreciate y'all.
All right, guys.
Till next
Another
week,
one.
Boys.